What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be showcasing a replay with a little bit of old and a little bit of new, as you can see on the title. But before I begin, if you could happen to click on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. So, to begin, we'll see that the player in blue is going to win the rock, paper, scissors, as we also see that he's on Swordsoul against Tearlaments, and we'll see the normal summon of Moye, which will use its effect, and then we'll see the Chain of Havness along with the reveal of Longyon for the Moye, and then we'll see the Havness get its effect, which will hit the Suliak, the Tragedy, and the Aluber, which will get him a couple of searches here, as we'll see just that. And he'll end up adding the ad libitum along with a Sharon, and from here we'll see probably a Chizhou, which I assume that's what's happening here, and that's exactly what happens as we see the Chizhou Chainlink 1, Moye Chainlink 2 to draw, and the draw will be blackout, which is pretty big, and then we'll see the addition of Emergence here. Emergence can then add the Ashuna, and from here, we'll likely see a Longyon pitching the Ashuna, and it'll special summon itself along with the token. The tier player can't do anything in order to stop this, so we'll see the Ashuna get its effect, special summoning the Adhara from deck, and from here we'll see a summon of Cheng Ying, and he's probably going for the banishes with this, as we see Monk be summoned off the Adhara. The Longyon burns for 1200. The Adhara gets its effect, adding back the Ashuna to hand. And from here, we'll see the Cheng Ying get its effect also as the Adhara was banished, banishing the Havness along with the Aluber. And in this matchup, I can understand that with Blackout, why you would fear Aluber over the Tragedy, but I still think it was a little bit of a misplay, as the Tragedy wouldn't have gotten a search if you get rid of it this turn, and once it's banished, it's gone. But we'll see the banish of the Aluber here, set 2, and then we'll see a top deck Dark Ruler No More, which is going to put in work here. And from here, we'll probably see a normal summon of a Rhino Heart, try to get any stuff out, and we'll see the Imperm be activated, as the player is going to activate Branded Fusion in the Imperm column. For the second replay in a row, we've seen this. And this is something that is just easy to forget about when a card leaves the field, as the player in red is going to be forced to put the monsters back in deck here. Branded Fusion will go to the graveyard as it's negated, and then we will see an activation of Foolish Burial here, sending the Havness. Then the Havness can get its effect to fuse away, and as of right now, the only thing set is Blackout along with a Nibiru in hand. The Dark Ruler No More has negated his monster effects, so everything is fine for now as we see the addition of the Meta Noise. And now we'll see the activation of Sharon here, which will special summon itself, sending the Mary, and then he's going to mill 3 as we see a branded opening, and the Merly will then use its effect, which will be fusing away here, but we don't know what he'll make. And he's going to put back the Merly, the Tragedy. He's probably going for the Q, or a Masker. Okay, that's weird. And then we'll see the Kikalos effect here, which will special summon back the Merly, sending itself. And from here we'll see the Merly get its effect, sending 3 from the top of the deck, which will result in a mill 8, as we see some amazing mills here. And the Sharon will use its effect, and this will put back the Sharon and the Rhino Heart along with the Kikalos to go into the Kaleido Heart. And the Kaleido Heart will then get its effect, putting back the Chengying back in their extra deck, as we see the Chengying be put back, and then we'll see the Kaleido Heart attempt to attack Inchija in battle phase, but before that, at end of main phase 1, we will see Nibiru come down, which isn't the end of the world, but I just think it was a really weird play that he made Masquerade over Q, as Q would have floated here, as would Kaleido Heart, and the Albaz special summoned off of Q could have fused away with the Nibiru, go into Albion, and then either use the Masquerade in graveyard for Mirror Jade or a Dark Monster for Lubellion to get into the Mirror Jade. So another big misplay there. And we'll see that there's going to be a pass here as we get a top deck Infinite Impermanence. And from here we'll see a special summon of an Ecclesia. And the Ecclesia will get its effect, which will be okayed, and this will probably bring out Moye. Moye will then get its effect, revealing the Ashuna. And from here, we'll see the special summon of the token, and we'll see a Think on Resolution, which we could see the Snow or the Meta Noise, and we will see the Meta Noise, which will be met with a Swordsoul Blackout, and that will pop 2 there, as he's not going to pop the Kaleido Heart, as he would get punished if he did, because you can see that if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon this card, and if you do, send one Tearlaments card from your deck to the graveyard. So we'll see the Blackout resolve here, then Havness will be added back to the hand off of Meta Noise, which he had to pop with the Blackout. And from here we'll see the Ashuna get its effect, special summoning the Shithana, and now we'll see Snow come down, which will Book of Moon the Shithana, and this will probably prompt battle phase, in which we'll see an attack over the Snow. And from here there will be a set of an Impermanent pass. And now we see a top deck Mystic Mine. So this is where the power of the elements with no ban list comes in. With this top deck Mystic Mine, the game can kind of go a lot of ways from here. But we'll see that they're going to catch the Meta Noise here a little bit late, as he had already used the effect to change a monster face down. I actually missed that. I forgot he had Book of Moon something with the Meta Noise. But we'll see the Kaleido Heart attack the Shithana here, and he's going to pass, which we'll see a Nib be drawn, and we'll then see a Crash in order to out the Kaleido Heart. And now there's just a token versus Sharon, Adlib, and Mystic Mine. Sharon will use its effect, sending the Adlib to the graveyard, milling 3, which will hit the Merly, and then the Merly will get its effect. And this is just something that's going to be in the format, where your opponent could get lucky, and we're about to see another hard cheat here, as Kaleido Heart cannot be used as fusion material. It's a restriction on the card, as you can see here, cannot be used as fusion material, and they're not going to catch that. So we'll see that Snow is going to come down now, and I think that this was another misplay, possibly, as he's going to banishing the Kick Kalos. And I understand he's on 17 cards, but we'll see the addition of a Rhino Heart here off the Kick Kalos, and then we'll see the normal summon of the Rhino Heart, which will send the Havness, and from here the Havness can get its effect, which will probably put back itself in, so he put back the Kaleido Heart in graveyard, so this shouldn't be legal, as the Kaleido Heart is going to get rid of the token, and now we're going to see Nib come down, and we'll see Sharon. So again, I apologize for the misplays in this replay. I didn't think that there were this many of them. but this is something that kind of happens during new formats where people are learning new decks and stuff. So take this as a learning experience of what not to do. So we'll see the Kit Kalos be summoned, then the Dragos Depelia, and the Kit Kalos will special summon back the Merly. He's going for the mill 8 here. And this is just a powerful play from Tears, as they can basically get a Chaos Ruler Plus, as we're going to see the player in blue scoop. And we'll go on to game 2. So hoping for a cleaner game here, we'll see that the player in blue is going to go first, as he did take the L in game 1. And we're going to see the Desires versus no hand traps. And we're going to see double a pointer here, as we're going to get a Swordsoul Emergence. The Emergence will add the Long Yawn. The player in blue here will normal summon the Moye, revealing the Long Yawn. And now we're just going to see standard Swordsoul plays, as we've been seeing this forever now. And he's going to pitch the Moye, special summoning the token, going into the Sovereign here, as we'll see the burn for 1200 off the Long Yuan. Then we'll see Chi Zhao come down, which we'll see the Chi Zhao and Moye use their effects, and we'll then see the draw of Veiler and an add of Taiye, as we also see another draw off the Sovereign, which gets another Taiye. And now we're going to see the appointer of the Red Lotus come down to look at his opponent's hand. I'm not sure if he revealed, but we'll see that the instant fusion is going to get sniped. And from there we'll see the Rhino Heart get hit by the Chi Zhao. And we'll then see the Foolish come down, which will be sending the Haveness. The Haveness will then get its effect. And I'm assuming we may see Kaleido or Kit Kalos here, which will get the add off of its effect, if not met by the Veiler, but we will see the Veiler come down along with the Sovereign effect to banish it, and that's going to prompt a scoop, as we're going to go on to game 3. So that was a clean game after a very messy game 1, and in game 3 we see the Swordsoul player has Lightning Storm effect Veiler and Imperm going second along with the Vishuddha. So that's already pretty strong, especially considering the fact that Ecclesia can summon itself, depending on the board that is made here, as if they somehow do get a wind, that is a thing. But we'll see the branded opening is going to pitch the Kaleido Heart, or the Rhino Heart, special summoning the Aluber, and then the Rhino Heart will be Chainlink 1, Aluber Chainlink 2, as we see the Veiler come down, which I thought this was draw phase, and I'm just noticing now that was main phase 1. And I understand that it wouldn't have resolved regardless because he had the Imperm for draw phase, but that's just another thing that you should kind of play around with. Branded opening, as we see the send off of Haveness here, and we'll see the Sharon return itself along with Rhino Heart, I think it was, and then we'll get the Kit Kalos and Haveness effects, as we'll see the addition of Meta Noise here, and the Haveness will then go into Masquerade with the Aluber, and he'll set 2 to end his turn. So we'll see a Lightning Storm come down to out all the back row, and we're going to see a Mass Change 2, which will send the Kit Kalos in order to special summon Dark Law. And now the Swordsoul player is in a big advantage here, as he can just Imperm the Dark Law here, as we're going to see some mills off of the Kit Kalos. The Tragedy will get its effect to add, getting the Aluber, but at this point I just don't think it matters, as we're going to see the Imperm stop the Dark Law here, and then we can see the special summon of Ecclesia. Moye will hit the board here, revealing the Vishuddha, and the player in blue knows what's in the players in red's hand. So we'll see that the Vishuddha is going to be banished here, putting back the Masquerade to prevent him from taking any more burn damage. We'll then see a Chi Zhao come down. The Chi Zhao will be Chainlink 1, Moye Chainlink 2, and from here we'll see a draw of an Imperm, which is going to be pretty strong for that Aluber. And we'll then see an addition of Swordsoul Emergence. We'll then see the Ecclesia get its effect. Special summoning the Taiye. We'll then see the Taiye use its effect, banishing the Moye. Special summoning a token, then using the Swordsoul Emergence, which will add an Ashuna, since he controls a Synchro monster, or a Synchro Worm monster. And we'll then see the Ashuna use its effect, which will banish itself and special summon the Adhara. And now we'll see the synchro summon of probably Baxia, I want to say, or Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. And we'll then see the Taiye get its effect, as it will send Vishuddha. Then we'll see the Adhara go into Monk here, as this is going to put a fair amount of damage on board, as he's going to forget he already used Vishuddha here. But we'll see the Adhara get its effect, adding back the Ashuna, and I think it's safe to say that the Swordsoul player has won here, as he has the Draco Berserker of the Tenyi effect, the attacks here, and we'll see the set of the Imperm. And the Mass Change 2 would be a good draw if he had another card in hand, but we'll see the Tragedy get back the Branded in red, and then we'll see the normal summon of Aluber, along with the effects of Draco Berserker of the Tenyi and Chi Zhao, which will force the scoop. So while not the cleanest of replays, this is a replay or a matchup that I wanted to show, because with Tearlaments being the new fusion deck, and Swordsoul kind of being a terrible matchup for a Despia last format, I wanted to show how these decks interact. And I think if there's any takeaways from this replay here is that the Dark Law stuff is cute, but I think it's better to draw cards that actually interact with your opponent, because the thing is that if you start seeing all of your engine cards along with your Mass Change, you're going to be able to play through stuff, but that's not necessarily enough a lot of the times. Swordsoul also has the ability to have a lot of monster negations out of nowhere with Chi Zhao, random Imperms, and Veilers. Penny monsters being a source of removal through Draco Berserker and Vishuddha. So if you're a Tearlaments player, playing some going second cards is definitely worth consideration. But anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.